So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Tina. I'm going to be your tour guide this morning, afternoon. And this is Brian, our webinar moderator. We're both happy to see you. Today's topic, what's your manual process costing you? Well, in today's session, we're going to break down the real financial and operational impact of sticking with your manual Tardy processes and show you how automation can deliver measurable savings in time, money, and stress. We'll also take a tour of our 2 Tardy management plugins that can add savings and transform your workflow. Auto Tardy, formerly known as Identimetrics Front Office Tardy plugin, brand new edition, Auto Tardy Plus. After the tour, I'll open up the floor to your questions, so please drop them in the chat at any time during the session, and Brian will share your questions so we can answer them. Oops, I get this direction here. Auto Tardy. Let's talk about it for a minute. It's a simple, automated tardy management solution that eliminates the manual work that bogs down your office staff and interrupts students' learning time. Auto Tardy lets your staff handle all your tardy tasks in just seconds and takes the chaos out of your daily tardy management. Auto Tardy Plus is the new enhanced edition built directly on the trusted foundation of Auto Tardy. While Auto Tardy excels at simplifying tardy management tasks in the office, Auto Tardy Plus builds on those features and provides a unified solution with self-service options so students can check themselves in. It adds user-level controls, student movement tracking tools, event management, and additional reporting, all still fully integrated with PowerSchool. And the result, your team gets everything Auto Tardy already does, plus powerful new capabilities without added complexity or duplicate data entry. When we talk about automating tardy processing, what we're really discussing is how professional labor is allocated. In a typical 1,000 student building, manual tardy processing consumes roughly 1,000 hours per year of staff time. That's the equivalent of half of a full-time position dedicated to paperwork. None of those hours increase achievement, none improve safety, and none strengthen family engagement. They're all transactional. When the tardy process becomes automated, those hours don't disappear, they're redeployed. They move to student supervision, early warning intervention, attendance follow-up, and instructional continuity. At the same time, the district gains real-time audit-ready data, consistent policy enforcement, and immediate visibility as to who's in the building. So the decision is not about buying technology. It's about whether highly compensated educators should continue performing clerical processes that software can execute in seconds. Okay, so let's get started on the demo. Let's take a look at Auto Tardy. Brian, I'm good here, and I've got my PowerSchool screen up so everybody can see it.
You are correct.
Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to start by looking at the features and the workflow of Auto Tardy. Auto Tardy is designed for use in the office or in a location that's monitored by attendance staff. Our plugin creates a page in PowerSchool that your staff will use to record attendance. So to get ready to take attendance, your staff will log into PowerSchool, navigate to the school in which they're located, and open the page that the plugin has created to record attendance. It's called the Auto Tardy Record Attendance page, and it's located right here on the left navigation bar. I'm going to select attendance and then auto tardy record attendance. Simple as that. We have 2 clicks, and we are at the page where the attendance recording will happen. So let's talk about this page here. I'm going to talk about this section here, this upper section. You'll notice that there's a date and a timestamp that's embedded. This is going to pull from wherever you are in the world. I happen to be East Coast, USA. The attendance code here, this is a code that you that you configure for this placement, for this display, based on the one that you expect to use most of the time. However, if you need to move off of this code for any reason, maybe you have a student that has a different attendance code that needs to be assigned. Click on the drop down and your attendance bank will present. So what you see here is the attendance bank that I have built in my sandbox. What you would see is the attendance bank that you have built in PowerSchool. So configure a default, choose something else if you need to. Hall pass option, configurable to default on. If you need to turn it off, also can do that right here on the page. The attendance comment. Many times office staff like to write a message that is specific to the attendance event that they are recording. Late bus, bellyache, doctor's appointment, something here that you could record. I will do late bus. Any attendance comment, any information that you write for your student for the attendance event at hand will then be written to the student's attendance record for reference at a later point. And then we have in this field, student search field, we have our cursor flashing, and it's telling us that the plugin's waiting for the student ID number. So there's lots of ways you can get the student ID number into this field for your student. You can use a barcode with an ID card if you already have one. You can do manual entry. Type in on a keypad entry. You can just type in the student's ID number. You can use a manual lookup. So type in the first couple, student search lookup. You can type in the first couple letters of a student's last name and you will get a search option and you can choose the appropriate student. And you can also use a finger scan option. So, I don't know if you can see this so well, but a finger scanner, which will, you can't see that so well, but it's a finger scanner, and it will allow you to use with the touch of a finger, the student's ID number will get entered into that space. So that's the top half of this particular page, the record attendance page. On the bottom half, you'll see that you have a list of students here. You can see as many or as few entries. So as the student attendance is collected during the day, those records will populate here below for visual identification. Or if you choose, you don't have to see any. You can button that up and show no student display on the bottom. So I want to show you how this works, but I want you to pay really close attention to the screen because what I do is going to happen very, very quickly. Here I'm going to have a student that enters into the building and they have a keypad. They're going to type the number in and then my student is going to hit submit and the information for this student has already been recorded on the student's attendance record. So done. We already automatically recorded a timestamp, an attendance code, and that comment directly for the student. But before I show you where that went, I want to slow down here and let you have a chance to take a look at the hall pass that was generated. If you configure a code to create a hall pass, this is the hall pass that would this is the information on the hall pass that would be displayed. You have a date and a timestamp. You have the student's name. You have the class on the bell schedule that aligns with the class on the bell schedule at the time that the student scanned. So this is where Miranda is headed. We show the attendance code and the attendance status. That's pulling directly from the way that you've configured this code in PowerSchool. We show the scan time. We're going to keep counting your tardies for you. We're going to show you how many of a particular type of tardy a student has if you are keeping track of excused versus unexcused separately. So you'll see a total of the type of tardy as well as an overall count that the student may have at that juncture. In this instance, Miranda has 4 unexcused, but she has 5 overall tardies during the course of this year. That will display on the hall pass. And then you have a comment down here that aligns with the tardy threshold that was reached for this event. Mine happens to say this set of display this set of information. You're going to configure your hall passes to display a message that works for the culture, your attendance culture, and the message that you'd like to send to your students based on the tardy threshold that's been reached. So, away the student goes. I'm going to send this through one more time, and I'm going to do a lookup. I'm just going to use the student up, and I will grab a student, send that off, and I'm going to take this one all the way through. Hall pass is printed, and our student is off in class. So you can see how quickly this transaction happens. It's in seconds, and all of the information has been recorded. Okay, I just want to take you into one of the students behind the scenes onto their attendance record so you can see how everything was written on the student's record. Quick link from that record attendance page to the student's attendance. And here we are, Thursday already. Ooh. And here we are, first aid. Our student Miranda had first aid on the bell schedule when she scanned in and the attendance was assigned to that period. I'm going to click on the comment. And what you can see is the comment that I had written for her coming in late, a late bus, and then the scan time gets appended to the comment as well. You can also configure a code to send the timestamp to the meeting time entry field. For a tardy code, that would land in the clock in field. For an early dismissal code, that would land in the clock out field. Once we send that timestamp to the meeting time entry field, PowerSchool collects that information and then updates the total minutes of instructional time for the day for that student. Okay, so that's how quickly everything works. We're going to automate all those manual processes for you. I want to go back to this page, attendance, auto tardy record attendance. We're going to land back here. And as I was mentioning, this is a display of the daily student intake for the day. So the daily student records at the start of each day, this bottom half will be blank. It'll be empty. And then you will accumulate records during the course of the day, and then each day it will be reset to empty. However, this link here to the attendance activity page lets you see a historical view of the data that you've collected over time. It's going to land on today's date, and then you can select a range if you would like to open that up to see more information. This page is a great way to connect some dots and understand attendance patterns in your school while using the basic filter that PowerSchool provides is a fine option. We also offer advanced filter options, so you can go ahead and search on a particular student, a particular grade. You can look at a total count that a student may have over time, and then start to look at patterns for your students in your school to really support that attendance intervention that you have in helping your students, stay on track. That's the attendance activity page. So this is Auto Tardy. So Auto Tardy Plus is built on Auto Tardy. Auto Tardy, designed for the office, automates all of your manual tardy tasks in seconds, and provides a view of attendance activity so you can monitor trends and augment your PowerSchool reports. Auto Tardy. Now let's take a look at Auto Tardy Plus and the additional features that it adds in. I'm going to start back here on the start page, and we'll go from the top. Auto Tardy Plus, as I mentioned, builds on the features of Auto Tardy. Auto Tardy Plus is Auto Tardy plus more. Auto Tardy Plus adds in a couple of key components. A kiosk option, right? The self-serve, students check themselves in. User level controls, and the ability to also record non-attendance related activity. The core component of Auto Tardy Plus is the kiosk feature. That's that self-service option. No staff monitoring is needed, and students can check themselves in. Entries are recorded using the kiosk attendance page. these entries can be attendance and non-attendance related activity in your district. So just like we did to get to the record attendance page for auto tardy, we're gonna take the same set of steps. So I'm gonna click on attendance, and in this case, looking at auto tardy plus, we are going to go to the auto tardy kiosk attendance page. So what we're going to do here first is we're going to show how to record attendance, such as tardy arrivals or early dismissals. I'd like to show you both here. What we could do on the record attendance page with auto tardy is exactly what we can do in this example with the kiosk attendance page, but it's self-serve style and there's some other perks. On the kiosk page, it looks a little bit different. Notice it's self-serve. Our navigation bar is gone, and the page is this is the page that is going to display no access to any other area in PowerSchool. On the kiosk page, the student simply needs to enter the ID number to the search student field, and attendance will automatically be recorded along with the timestamp, just like we saw with the record attendance page. And if it's configured, a hall pass will also be generated. So let's run through a few examples of students using different input methods. So let's look at our student here. She is coming in late to the building. There is a keypad that is here for her to type in her student ID number, and here it is. So same concept here. We have a hall pass that gets generated, but we have some additional information here that you're seeing, some pop-up and student display information that can be useful. All of this is configurable. And the student is off to class. So that was my first student. She arrived late to school. She typed her ID number in the keypad. Her attendance was recorded. Hall pass was generated, and off she went. Let's look at another student here, and I want to show you another way to send ID entry in using a finger scan. So I'm using my finger scanner here, and student, she's come in again late to the building, places her finger on the finger scanner, hall pass is generated, and off she goes to class. And then I want to show you something show you an example of using a different attendance code. I'm going to switch over to a different code. I'm going to use early dismissal, also popular in schools, right? You have kids that are coming in late, but you also have students that are leaving early. This student is going to have an ID card that's scanned, and an early dismissal is not generating a hall. It is generating a hall pass, I'm sorry. Taking away the pop-up information here to show you how you can configure that. And now that student his attendance has been recorded, and he is allowed to leave the building, and you have full record of that. The kiosk attendance page supports all the same input option as auto tardy, right? You can use an ID card with a barcode scanner. You can use a keypad or a pin pad. You can use finger scan, or you can use student lookup. You decide which one works best for your school. Using a mix of input options is perfectly fine as well. Attendance codes on the kiosk page. This is really important. These are configurable. So each kiosk can be set up independently, where you display only one code or any available code you decide. That's entirely up to you. The pop-up information, we saw student picture, we saw student name, all of that what we call the pop-up or display information is configurable. So you can show as much or as little student information as you wish. So that right here was an example of showing you how you can use this Auto Tardy Plus with the kiosk attendance page to automate your self-check-in for kids coming in late to the building or possibly leaving early. Okay, let's look at another way that you can use Auto Tardy Plus, which is as a security checkpoint to verify student entry to your building. You can use Auto Tardy Plus to manage and control entry to your building at any time during the day for attendance and non-attendance related activities. There is a built-in configurable list of options that allow you to control who is and isn't allowed in your building. For example, if you want to deny entry for students who are suspended, you could set a deny entry flag for that suspension code. Any student who has been assigned that code will be denied entry. Let me show you how that looks. So here is a student that's attempting to enter the building. This student has a suspension on their record for the day. And as you can see, there's a stop alert that says the student is not allowed in the building. Or maybe you want to deny entry for a student that doesn't attend the school that they're trying to enter. In that case, you can set a denial reason to create that alert. So here, let's show you what it would look like. A student who belongs to another building that is attempting to enter Apple Grove. Notice here, we're getting some information about why this student has been denied entry. Sometimes there's situations where you have students from a different district that are trying to come in, right? No student found, an unknown student. This is an example of a student who's denied because they don't belong in the district. And then I just want to show you how this would, back to the idea that, oops, I'm sorry about that. Let me do a student lookup here. A student that is allowed entry to the building. And then that would be the workflow. So you can set your deny. Auto Tardy Plus allows you to manage and control entry to your building at any time during the day. Okay, I'm going to show you now some different ways that Auto Tardy Plus can be used for non-attendance related situations. So I'm going to switch over to a different school. We're going to navigate over here to the Auto Tardy kiosk attendance page. And here we are. Okay. So Auto Tardy can also be used for non-attendance related situations. Like what kind of things you might say, could I use this for? Well, early morning arrivals. Students arriving to the building in the morning before the start of the day, but where you don't want to record attendance, but you want to know who's in the building. Makes sense. Internal check-ins, students checking into the nurse's office, library, or resource centers where you're interested in tracking movement throughout the day, but you don't want to record attendance. And how about after-school events? Managing after-school events such as basketball or football games or school dances. You want to know who attended and if they're allowed to attend. So notice here, a little bit different, when we're recording non-attendance related situations, the attendance code option is removed. So we see a date and a timestamp, and then we see our student search, which is where the ID needs to be entered. So let's take a look at two students, and let's just pretend that they're checking into study hall or arriving to school in the morning. Both are, I'm going to show you allowed entries. So here are a few students, and we're just kind of simulating them either entering a room or entering the building for the day. And you can see how quickly these students can check in and then get off to where they need to. So no alerts, these students are allowed in the building, checking into study hall or maybe just arriving to school in the morning. And then here is a student, I just want to show you an example. Again, a deny entry flag has been set for this particular reason, which is a different school, a student trying to enter into a location where they don't belong, and the alert is sounded. So non-attendance related activity can also be addressed inside your school and within your district. Okay, I want to go and show you where all of this activity gets logged, right? Now that you have it, now that you have collected the information, where can you get it? So I'm going to just jump back into the Apple Grove High School here for a minute. And we're going to move into a page called the Auto Tardy Kiosk Activity page. This is where all of your information is logged, okay? All of that data, it needs to go somewhere, and it's logged here on the Auto Tardy Kiosk Activity page. Let's take a look at this. Notice we have a date search up here. So you can look at, it's going to land on a particular date so that the page loads quickly. However, then you can go and look at a range of dates if you need to and open that up. I'm going to scroll down here as we look at this page, and I just want to show you that here are the denials. So the students that were denied entry into the building are listed in this section called entry denied. And then here, notice we have a difference in color as well, the reds and the greens for visual identification. In this section, we have entry allowed students. So these are the students that came in through the kiosks, they're allowed entry, and these are the ones that have been denied. The date range up here, as I was mentioning to you, allows you to pinpoint a specific day or a range of days. Columns here, we have some headers here. The headers allow you to know who scanned, when they scanned, where they scanned, and the result of that scan. So the kiosk here is the location where the student scanned. It's assigned to the user. You have some filter options here to refine your search. Your data can be exported. Export here, export the deny only, or export the allowed. And then I want to show you on here, you'll notice here that we have a resolve. Let's say you have a student, for example, that was denied for attendance reasons. However, it was a mistake and that student really, their PowerSchool record was not updated. You have the ability to open up that student's record and you can say, you know what, this is a mistake. And you can submit that. Now our student gets moved down into the allowed section with a note that says why that student was then allowed into the building. So you have the ability to do this on the allowed, make some notes, change the result, and you can also do it here up at on the denied. So useful page, it's called the kiosk activity page, and it's where all of your information from your kiosks are collected. Auto Tardy delivers powerful automated tardy and attendance management right inside PowerSchool that eliminates manual work and provides reliable data every day. For schools ready for more, Auto Tardy Plus includes everything from the standard version plus advanced kiosk controls, unified campus movement tracking with real-time safety alerts, and flexible check-ins for internal areas and events. Whether you use Auto Tardy or Auto Tardy Plus, you're guaranteed a solid solution to meet your school's attendance needs. What's next? If you're interested in getting a quote, you want to schedule a demo, you want to sign up for a free trial, which would be fantastic, please reach out. Here's my contact information. Thanks for joining us today, and we'd love to hear from you.